This is the 32nd consecutive Labor Day that we've worked. So, yeah, that's why I was running late, I guess. Starting with the game Thursday night, recapping the win over Western Carolina. Obviously excited to be 1-0, and it was great to see our players, overcome adversity. Obviously, you never know how a game's going to be, but we did get to see a lot of things in that film, on that field, in that locker room. And I think, at the end of the day, you never apologize for winning a football game. Obviously, you'd love to play the way we did in the fourth quarter for 4 quarters, but that's not what happened. And so we were able to really see guys handle adversity, see them overcome things, go through the first game with the iPads, the headset technology. I loved how we finished, 21-0 in the fourth quarter. We had 22 players play for their first time in a Wolfpack uniform that didn't play for us a year ago. 8 new starters on defense took the field in that game. And so there was a lot of first-time things that I know we'll improve from, and a lot of good film to watch. Really valuable for us as players and coaches, and look forward to that opportunity. We were on the field last night, had a really good focused practice. It was great to be home and see the fans. 14 straight consecutive sellout in the stadium, and they were awesome. Lightning delay didn't impact anything, and so thank you for that. I was coming out of the tunnel and saw the students. I guess they held them out for a while. And when they let them in, I mean, it was like a waterfall of people coming down just with excitement. And so it's awesome to have that kind of fanfare. So thank you for that, for your support, for the noise. It was great to have DJ Burns back, getting the crowd going early. So just a really good game day environment. And so, the game ops people did a great job. On the game itself, offensively, from a positive standpoint, I thought we caught the football really well and ran with the ball well after the catch. There was a lot of explosive plays in that football game, and that was really, when your turnover margins are the same, the explosive plays are the biggest piece in the scoreboard. Our guys did a really good job making things happen after they caught the football. The time of possession, anytime you play an up-tempo offense like Western is, and our next opponent, time of possession is a factor, and keeping their offense on the sideline. We were able to extend drives. We didn't hurt ourselves with drops and penalties. We had no pre-snap penalties. Obviously, KC had an electric game, did a tremendous job creating explosive plays, doing things with his feet after the catch. I thought Justin Jolie really played well in that football game, did some really good things. I think him and Grayson have a good chemistry right now. As far as Grayson goes, obviously you never want to see an interception. I thought the way he responded, his next throw was a really nice throw and catch on the sideline down the field and to Wesley. It was good to see him respond. I love the way he manages things, the way he communicates on the sideline, his competitive spirit. I mean, he was 65% in his completion rate, which is a pretty solid day. I know for him, there's some throws that a little more accurate on a couple passes, and he's got a 400-yard plus day. And so things for him to work on. We were only sacked one time in the game, and it was a play that we scrambled on and would have liked to have seen him throw that one away. It was the one we ended up kicking the field goal on. I thought our run game early was not very good and improved and finished really well. Areas we got to do a better job, I think, just with the number of things that you see in a first game that you don't practice and being able to use the rules and tools that our guys have. But there was a lot of strain, a lot of finish. Guys played hard. We ran hard. And our guys on the perimeter, I thought there was some really good receiver blocking. Negatives, short yardage, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and 1. We did not convert, an area that our program takes pride in, and obviously an area we're going to get better in from that. Twice we had plays called back for linemen downfield, and that can't happen. We got to do a better job coaching and the guys understanding in that area of our call sheet. And we got fortunate. We did put the ball on the ground 3 times in the game, and we're able to recover those fumbles. But we've got to protect the football. You protect the ball, you protect the game and the team. That's what complementary football is all about. And So, you get into these live things, whether it's a scrimmage or a game, and you see where technique and the littlest details are so critical. And so I think from that, obviously it's going to be emphasized, but sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And we did and got away with it, fortunately. Defensively, we had a takeaway to finish the game, a sack force fumble by Isaiah. I thought we had 2 interceptions we should have had. One to open the game would have been a pick 6. But, those kind of plays change football games. And being able to make your layups, as I call it, if they're going to throw one right at you, you got to make them pay for that. Really, the 2 plays that impacted us the most, there was 2 third and longs that, statistically, we were really good on defense on third and long. And we gave up 2 third and long conversions that ended up extending drives and leading to points, an area that we've got to win. It's interesting because 4th and 1s are harder, and we were 100% on 4th and short on defense. And then you get a 3rd and 8 and a 3rd and 12, and they converted. So areas we got to do better. I thought, first game we tackled well. We only had 6 missed tackles in the entire football game. You never want any, but that's a good start to the season. Really good. We had no pre-snap penalties on defense. There was a lot of hard count, a lot of cadence. The guys were very disciplined that way. I thought our front really strained. I thought Davin Van, his stamina throughout the game, making plays when we needed them at the end. Brandon Cleveland, same thing. I think his stamina, those 2 guys have done a great job. Trevally Price of conditioning, able to, against an up-tempo team, be able to maintain their level of performance as they get tired. I was really proud of Jalen Parker. We had a targeting ejection on Caden on play 5 of the game. And Jalen's only played special teams here in his career and went in and really played well at Mike linebacker. So I was proud of him. Negatives on defense, like I said, the 2 third downs. We had 2 penalties that extended drives. One was the targeting, and another, Brandon had a great pass rush on the center, and unfortunately, his hand hit the helmet, and you just can't get near a quarterback's head, and that's something we know and have to be able to do that in the moment of truth. On special teams, it was good to see we had a good return with Hollywood. He had another one where he should have stayed in and didn't. KC had a nice punt return. It's nice having KC and Jalen as punt returners. They can both do really good things. It was great to see Kanoa, our kicker, his first college kick, 46 yards, right down the middle. Not a gimme by any means, and did a great job. I was proud of him. Colin Smith on our kickoffs was 100% with his touchbacks and his ball location. I thought our players on those units really strained. You got to see a lot of technique. I know fans aren't seeing that kind of stuff like we are, but a lot of times you get into live play and you see some things show up that hurt you. We had no penalties on special teams, so a really clean game in that area. We can be better in some areas, obviously, and we'll work hard to do that. Now we get to go to Charlotte, and excited for the opportunity to play in Bank of America Stadium versus Tennessee. A really good opponent that dominated their opening game against Chattanooga. Explosive offense with really talented players, up-tempo system. Coach Heupel and their staff do a great job, making you defend 53 and a third and doing it in a way where it's not just dink and dunk. It's run game right at you. It's RPOs behind you. It's shots, screens, getting the ball in space, making you tackle, playing with tempo. It's a really good offense. And they're committed to running the football. They were 9th in college football last year in rushing. Defensively, have probably the best defensive front will play when you look at the depth and talent that they have on their defensive line. Not that we won't see other talented D-lines, we will, but with their depth, it's a strength of theirs, in my opinion. As you look at all the pieces that are on the field and the skill and, the names and things like that, the front's where it's going to be at. It's going to be a trench game to win it. I think defensively, there's so many things you have to do well when you play an offense like this, but tackling is going to be the premium. They're going to complete balls. They're going to throw hitches. They're going to throw screens, the underneath stuff. We got to do a great job limiting yards after catches and tackling their backs. Obviously, defending deep balls and all that goes into it. But You can't let a 5-yard gain turn into a 10-yard gain. You can't let a 0-yard pass turn into an efficient play. We've got to tackle really well in this football game. There's no doubt it's going to be a great environment in Charlotte. I think Danny Morrison and his team at the Belk Mayo Classic do a tremendous job with the premium fan experience. I'm excited for both fan bases. It's going to be a really passionate group on both sides and a fun game to be a part of it. Their quarterback, man, is he talented. He's fun to watch. His first college start in their bowl game, he rushed for 3 touchdowns. Saturday, he was completing every ball, throwing accurate, on time, shows touch, shows arm strength, shows mobility. His running backs run really hard. They protect well. He's got a veteran O-line and a deep, fast receiver group that has a lot of different varieties in it. So it's a great challenge, a great opportunity that way. Excited, about the game, the test, the opportunity to play a team like Tennessee, to top 25 teams. And I know we'll have a great week of preparation and look forward to the matchup. There's been a lot of talk about this game going back to when we scheduled it. And I've known Josh Heupel a long time. And I have a lot of respect for him, as a coach, as a player when he was a player. But I've known him since, I was at Kansas. Our head coach there was his offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. One of my best friends in the business, Sept, and him were teammates. I've known Josh a long time. I think a lot of them. I'm excited to compete against him. These are great games. As a coach, you're tested. It's, your staff against their staff. You got good players on both sides. It's a game that's obviously played in our state. Against a team whose, state line touches ours. So there's a lot to play for in a game like this. And that's what it's all about. I'm excited for the opportunity, and to win games like this, there's a lot of noise, and that's not what it's about. It's about executing. It's about fundamentals. It's about doing the right things in the game plan. It's about your mental preparation. It's about your emotional control. As coaches, getting these guys the best opportunity to play as fast as they can, as hard as they can, longer than the other team. And so it's going to be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to the week and get going.